Ah, we are here. YouTube, what up? Twitch, what up? We are here. We got some breaking news to talk about that just took place within the last hour. Some obvious news, but breaking news. Yeah, it sure did. It sure did, man. Come on in, everybody, before I get to talking. What up, though? What up, though? So, I think that's enough waiting, man. What up, though, to everybody that's in the stream? Listen, um, obviously, we're gonna talk a little bit of mock draft. You know, what's the current mock draft? That's the final draft that's out there from a lot of places, including NFL, PFF, or whatever have you. I even got some notes from my own little list, um, but it's changed up so much. It's kind of tough to do right now. We'll just glaze over that. But for right now, the breaking news. The breaking news is the Detroit Lions have paid Kerby Joseph. They extend Kerby Joseph $86 million over 4 years. He's the highest paid corner in the NFL. Now, you're gonna hear a lot of Lions fans, and you're gonna hear fans outside of the fan base, which you should outside of the fan base, but they're gonna say he's overpaid. Lions fans never want to pay anybody anything. When you look at his production, especially last season, he deserves every single penny. Because to me, last season, Kerby Joseph was the most productive safety in the league. So he deserves the money. It's not up to me if I'm happy or if I like it. It's none of my business. I'm not the one paying anybody. The Detroit Lions paid Kerby Joseph, and they saw him fit to get paid what he got paid. Now, another thing about the overpay when you look at the fan base, they always say this, like the NFL salary does not raise every single year. Every single year. We do this all the time. I remember when they were crying about Matthew Stafford's contract. And years down the line, it started to look better and better and better. We do this all the time. Everything is an overpay. If it was in La La Land, they would love for the Lions to pay somebody nothing and to get max production out of these players. That's in La La Land. But that's not how it works in the NFL. Players want to get paid. Players who play hard and are productive get paid. And that's what good teams do. They pay their players. Whether they have to go through a little maneuvering or whatever it is, they pay their players. So, with that said, Kerby Joseph, to me, deserves every single penny that he has received because he earned it. He earned it. So that's like me being a hard worker at work, and I'm doing extra at work, and when it comes time to get a raise, everybody's jealous because I got an accurate raise. That's what it's like, man. So there's a reason why Brad Holmes was hinting that they couldn't afford to pay certain guys. You know what I'm saying? Because they have to pay Kerby, they have to pay Hutch. You got a couple of, you got some years for guys like Gibbs, right? But those two players, which I just mentioned in my previous video, the Detroit Lions usually pay their players right before the draft. So don't be shocked if you hear something about Aiden Hutchinson too. But they usually do this right before the draft, and they did it today after I just literally said that within these last 2 days. So everything is everything. It's not no surprise. It's not anything, that's shocking. We should know that this was going to happen. But happening right now before the draft, it caught a lot of people off guard. Not me, because this is their forte. This is what they do. So, in the meantime, good to be back live talking Lions talk with all of you guys, man. I'm glad that you're in here. Man, it's been too long. But I explained to you guys before, a lot going on. Man, I got a whole wall of baby stuff over here. So I appreciate all the congratulations that you guys left in that video in the comment section, man. That was deep. Um, so Jameson Williams, right? I put the video out earlier before the Detroit Lions media team did what they did, right? I never saw Jameson Williams getting traded. I never felt that. It just didn't make sense to me at all. When this is the year right now where he's most likely going to try to prove some things and to work towards getting that bag. This is a breakout type of season for him, for the Detroit Lions, and to snatch him away from Jared Goff, because the last thing you need to be doing is taking toys away from Goff, and to snatch him away from your new offensive coordinator, to me, early is not a smart move. You know, like I said, you don't have to do this now. Keep him here, let him play the season. Whatever happens after this season, fine. I'm fine with that. But you don't trade him on draft night, especially for some rookie. You know what I'm saying? So that it was just never materialized for me. I just never held any weight to it. But then the Detroit Lions media team, who does a excellent job at what they do. They had put out a picture earlier with J-Mo in the practice facility, practicing with the rest of the players, getting that work in. And, you know, right up under it said, "We all good." You know, this is just what we are. They good over there. You know what I'm saying? They're not really trying to hear all of this trade crap that people got going on, where it came from, out of the thin air, from some writer across the country. Pretty much something like confirmation, you know, as close as you can get. If the Detroit Lions were to trade him on draft night, I would be upset about that. I wouldn't even lie to you. I would be upset about that, because, like I said, it's the caliber of player in which you're trading when he didn't even get a chance to reach his full potential yet. And for you to move up in the draft 20 spaces to get him, yeah, it would probably piss me off. So we're not going to be able to keep everyone, Edward. But for the main guys, yes, we should be able to retain them. We've stretched our money out. They could still possibly restructure contracts to do things. But for the most part, yeah, we're going to pay those main guys that, you know, we need to. And that's something that Brad Holmes has been consistent with. And he said over and over and over. So that's the J-Mo situation. Let's just scrap that. Let's get to the draft tomorrow and do what we do, right? Looking at the draft tomorrow, it's going to be interesting. And this is a great opportunity for me, because it goes to my origin. If y'all see the symbol on the top right side of y'all screen where my face is, you see it's a Pistons and Lions logo behind me, right? That's what that halo is behind me. And it's a unique time for me because I'm one of the few, but one of the first to do Lions and Pistons. So I don't get to do this often. You know what I'm saying? I'm holding two streams at one tomorrow. So this is going to be interesting and it's going to be fun. So to have the Pistons first home playoff game in LCA, but also have the NFL draft on at the same time while I'm in here with you guys, while we have our draft party, it's going to be interesting and pretty fun. So I can't wait for that tomorrow. I've been preparing, you know, for a couple of weeks for that. It's going to be a great, beautiful day tomorrow. So if you are going down to LCA to be outside with the crowd, it's going to be absolute nuts out there. Have fun, man. Have fun. Enjoy yourself out there. It's going to be a great atmosphere. But for us Lions fans, tomorrow is going to be nerve-wracking. Get ready, because you don't know what we're going to do. No one knows. We can't even put a finger on it. We don't know who the Lions are in love with. Um, but there's a lot of players that the fan base is in love with. A lot of, analysts are in love with, writers are in love with. So let's just talk about a few of those. Obviously, first overall, everyone has Cam Ward. That's signed, sealed, delivered, right? Cam Ward, done. Out of Miami, gonna do what he do, go first, right? Travis Hunter to the Browns, that's been the going thing. That's just that, right? But things get dicey right away in this draft. From spots 3 going all the way down to 10. You could probably even go farther than that, man, because I've seen so many variations of mock drafts where that range just goes nuts. I even seen the draft where defensive lineman Grant went all the way down to the Lions, bro. I've seen one where Mike Green made it all the way down to the Lions. There are so many variations out there. And today, like I mentioned earlier, Peter Schrager saying that he believes that we'll be able to get Johnson out of Michigan at corner because he might fall by his ankle injury, which is crazy to me. That's not going to happen. That's absolutely not going to happen. So it's man, it gets real murky in those waters real fast, man. And I'm interested to know, who is your person? Who do you want the Detroit Lions to draft at 28? Or who do you want them to move up to draft before 28? Put that person's name in the comments, man, because it's interesting. A lot of offensive linemen, a lot of defensive edge rusher, a lot of defensive tackle. I've seen everything that you can think of. It's been hella chaotic trying to put a finger on this thing. So leave that in the comment section, man. I want to know, who's your guy? Who do you want the Detroit Lions to draft? Who do you want in the Lions jersey, man? If Shedeur Sanders goes number 3 to New York, I wouldn't be surprised, though. Spotlights is New York. Who better to have than Shedeur Sanders? You know what I'm saying? But if they're serious about football over there, they could go another direction. They can go get Abdul. They can go defense. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'd rather build a team first before I bring the quarterback. They've added some guys over there to the defensive line. So it'll be interesting to see what they pick. It'll be interesting. Let's see. So Stewart is one that's always, popping up with Detroit Lions fans. Shamar Stewart is always one that's been popping up with the Detroit Lions fans. I don't think he's going to be there. That's my personal belief. Kenneth Grant, Stewart, guys like Mike Green. I don't even think Mykel Williams is going to be there. I don't think those guys are going to be there. I think there's going to be some edge rushers flying off the board before 28, because y'all remember, this is a copycat league, right? And like I said before, everyone watched what the Eagles did. They watched what the Eagles did. Defensive lineman is just as important as quarterback right now. And I think a lot of them are going to fly off the board for these teams. So it's going to be interesting to see who falls. But if either one of those names fall, we're in a very good place. We are in a very good place. So some of the possibilities for the Lions that I've seen over mock drafts, of course, Derek Harmon out of Oregon, James Pierce being another one that a lot of people think are going to fall somewhere around the Detroit Lions or possibly even farther. Me personally, I don't believe it. I think it's a bunch of crap. I think somebody's going to have guts to pick them up. And you know what? A player like James Pierce is the perfect opportunity for someone like Howie to pick up for the Eagles, bro, because this is what he does. You know what I'm saying? Howie is thinking talent. He trusts the organization to say, we can bring a young man in here, and whatever his flaws are, we can work with him and change him as a player, or we're going to take him as they are and embrace them. That's what they do. And if he failed there, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'll be uber pissed because James Pierce is definitely someone who I definitely had high, very high, in my top 5 for defensive edge. So yeah, but Donovan Jackson, um, Ezaraku, those are some of the names that you see floating around 28 consistently in some of these mock drafts. So I am at the point, for me, it's either D-line or offensive lineman. You want to invest into the future. If you take an offensive lineman, I'll never argue with you for that. I will never argue with you for taking an offensive lineman to keep the depth up front, because that keeps the engine running on the offense. That makes those plays that we see from Gibbs and from Montgomery possible because of what we have up front, right? That makes Jared Goff the quarterback that he is now because we have what we have up front. So if you want to continue to shore that up, bring the guys in for the future, fine. I'm fine with that. And then, with our next pick, we go in for edge rusher or whatever else. I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? Even if we move up with the second pick a little bit, go and get an edge rusher, even better. But O-line, they're aging. We talked about this last season. I was very, very surprised at the season that guys like Frank Ragnow had. Because y'all remember the previous season, every single week, I was telling you guys Frank Ragnow was on the injury report. Sometimes they just put old on there, bro. Frank was broke up. He was broke up pretty bad. So, like I said, you see some of the youth being able to step in when these guys go out momentarily, or if they miss a game, and be able to hold up. We still got guys like Giovanni on the team that's still developing. A lot of development pieces. But if you want to go in the first round and get a guy that can come and be a part of the rotation, day one, I'm not gonna argue with you about that ever. William, man, you are the most supportive, man. I appreciate you, Mr. McGregor, in my Pistons live streams everywhere. Appreciate the donation, man. Game would make you sick. Philly got him. Don't bring this up, man. They're so masterclass of drafting. And I've talked about this before. Every single player that I mention and say that I want, they get them. They get them over there in Philly, and you see what they just did last season. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it just depends on, if we address certain positions. Because Brad Holmes said that, that's something that goes in one ear and out the other pretty much. They draft the most talented player on the board. They draft the players that they have on their board, and they do things their way. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't want the old Lions way to come and bite us, to where we get too confident and cocky within ourselves and we bite ourselves in the butt. That's what I don't want to happen. I want you to go out there and address the positions we need. You have Hutch coming off of a broken leg injury. You don't need him in there trying to work overtime. Make things a little bit easier for him. You know what I'm saying? So even though he looks great in his workouts, and I'm probably sure he's 100% ready to go already, still make things a little bit easier on him, man. That's all I ask for. Yeah, and that's pretty much where I've been seeing consistently with the Detroit Lions, and when it comes to mock drafts, especially from NFL.com, you got different writers over there. Bleacher Report, PFF. I've been seeing a lot of offensive linemen going to the Detroit Lions. Between them, certain names like Donovan Jackson and some of these other guys, I've been seeing a couple of Shamar Stewarts, but mostly offensive linemen. So I think that's where we're going to end up going in this draft. Now, what are we going to do in the second part, right? Second and third rounds, right? When are we going to go get a receiver? All of those questions, because the Lions most likely probably going to try to add a big body receiver in this draft at some point. At some point in this draft, we've even been talking to a couple of running backs, so to add to that room, and it's probably going to be some guys that we pull in here undrafted from the running back room. I seen that they were talking to one the other day, so and he's a machine. He runs people over. We'll see. We'll see what they do. But at some point, you got to get another offensive lineman in this draft, and I think it just might be with the first pick. So it may not be sexy, but it's a need. It's a need. I would prefer to get an edge rusher if available. If one is available that you like, fine, which is I'm probably sure they're going to do. But like I said, I won't argue with you over that. So here's the thing. Pascal Onwuzurike, right? You know, I took a lot of criticism about what I said when it comes to those two. And I don't mean no disrespect, man. But those guys are depth players. They are guys you rotate in when guys go out. That's what they are to me. Those guys are not guys who should be starting on the field with anybody. At least at this point. They still have room to where they can improve. You know what I'm saying? Levi Onwuzurike, he came and played quite a few games, surprisingly, because he was having some injury issues early. But you got to be productive at the end of the day in the NFL. You got to be productive. And those guys, to me, they're second, third string guys. That's their second and third string guys. I'm gonna keep it frank with you. When we drafted them, y'all saw my reaction live. I can't sit up here and lie to your face. I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy about it, especially on Onwuzurike. I thought that was a reach when we went and got him. You know what I'm saying? The second round. So that's just me. And I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right. I don't want to be the one to sit up here and say, I told you so. I don't want to be that guy. I want you to prove me wrong. I wanted guys like, you know, like when Jared Goff got here. Yeah, I did a lot of fussing, but I wanted him to prove me wrong. And when he started to prove me wrong, I fessed up to it. I apologized to him for it. So it takes a big person to admit they're wrong and apologize these days. And when we had an opportunity to win in that San Francisco game, which was not Jared Goff's fault at all, from that moment on, I said, I don't have nothing else bad to say about the man. He had us in the Super Bowl right there. But unfortunately, we had guys like Reynolds dropping the football. You know what I'm saying? We had fumbles. We had some other situations take place. Now, that performance against Washington, yeah, you can get at him about that. You know what I'm saying? You can't turn the ball over that much. You probably survive that, though, if you have at least a front defensive line that can at least pinch the other quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Because they did virtually whatever they wanted against us. Made it tough for us on defense. I can't even say make it tough for us on defense because we were pressing and a lot of stupid, you know, plays were called on Ben Johnson's behalf. But yeah, you know, like I said, if we had a defensive line that can slow the team down and stop the bleeding, maybe you have a chance to do like you did against the Texans. Y'all remember that game. So a lot of what ifs, hypotheticals, but that's just what it is. So yeah, but Jaheed Campbell is one of Jaheed Campbell. I keep calling him Jaheed Galore. Jaheed Campbell is one of the names that I see from the fan base a lot too. A lot of people love to see Campbell. Listen, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Brad Holmes loves Alabama and Georgia, whatever it is. If he can get somebody from, you know, those franchises, man, like I say, it's obvious he loves to go there and dig into the well. And he's struck gold every single time. He struck gold every single time. So I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised at all, man. But like I said, looking at this list, man, yeah, you can go anywhere. What are the Bears going to do at number 10 is the question. Are they going to go offensive lineman? Now, we do got Ben Johnson over there now, and I'm probably sure he's the man in charge. I think they go offensive line, probably try to pick up somebody like Will Campbell, maybe, you know what I'm saying, to get some block for Caleb Williams over there. Try to shoot up the offensive line. Probably he's going to take our method over there to the Bears, where we got to go from the trenches out. That'll be the first time you see that from the Bears in forever, because for some reason they just seem to never really care about offense. So with Ben Johnson there being the mind that he is, they most likely are going to go and get offensive line or possibly a receiver. They're going to go get something to help Caleb over there. If you're smart, you go offensive line. You don't want Caleb over there running for his life, just like you did. You just sent a quarterback to the Steelers because your offensive line sucked really, 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 really bad. You got to address that offensive line and get some guys in there that's really worth something, to where you can protect your quarterback and he can sit back there and be a quarterback. Do I hope they do that? Absolutely not. Why? Because fuck them. That's why. But at the end of the day, I'm probably sure that's what Ben Johnson is over there like, yeah, man, we got to get some block for our offensive line. Like I said, you had some mock drafts where you've seen a guy like Genty going over there at running back. I think they go O-line. Definitely FTB. Definitely FTB. I want them to continue to be the stupid and fraudulent franchise they are when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. I don't want our defense to have to work any harder. Because that disaster over there, man, that they got blocking for him is yeah. So Michael Williams, I've seen going to the Pack a couple of times. I don't like that. For me right now, the Pack are the last on the totem pole. They haven't done anything up to this point. I don't want them to get heady and strong in the draft either. You know what I'm saying? They got a pretty decent defense over there. I still don't think Jordan Love is the guy. They paid him way too early. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with that. But them and the Vikings quarterback situation over there. I'm a Michigan fan, of course. Haven't seen their quarterback throw the ball enough consistently down the field. I've seen a couple of beautiful plays, but not enough. I appreciate the donation, William, man. You still want Trey Hendricks. That thing is dead. First part of that sentence right there, I just got to shut it down, man. I think that's totally dead. That's over with, man. I don't know what's going to happen with Hendricks, though, man, because they may end up going in this draft and add something to that defensive line, but I don't know exactly what's going to happen with Hendricks. I haven't looked into it for a while now, but I'm not sure what's going to happen with Hendrickson, man. Hendrickson is a player I would obviously love to have opposite of Hutch. You know what I'm saying? But we over here begging to get Zadarius back, man. So, whoever is going to be numero uno next to Hutch is probably coming out of this draft class. Probably coming out of this draft class, man. That's just where it's at. So, yeah. Yeah, it definitely do, man. It definitely do. A lot of people wanted to see that, including myself. I'm not a picky person. I just want somebody who can at least slap the quarterback on the ass. You know what I'm saying? Balls. You can at least touch him. You know what I'm saying? Touch the quarterback. That's all I ask you to do as a defensive lineman. That's your job. That's what you get paid to do. Touch the quarterback, bro. Put some pressure on him. We couldn't do that at certain points. Yeah. Got another question. What up, does anyone? I usually put are you following me on social media? I usually put links out on Twitter. Whenever people need to find somewhere to watch somebody, I'll put apps out there. I'll put links out there. I'll put the question out there. People will drop it in the comments. Ways to watch for free. So yeah. If you follow me on social media, just look for that, because I'm probably sure somebody gonna ask. I'll try to get that up there and put it out there for y'all if y'all need somewhere to watch. I know some of y'all are not in the state of Michigan. You need ways to watch. So I don't know, man. Don't be too hard on them, Kenyatta. Don't be too hard on them. You know what I'm saying? I turned into a villain. You know what I'm saying? I turned into an absolute villain, man. It's a percentage piece of why I kind of didn't want to, come on here for a little while and do Lions content. I'm gonna be honest with you, the Lions fan base is frustrating at times because if you tell them something straight, man, they just cry and go in the corner and they start screaming at you. That's just what it is. It gets frustrating sometimes. But like I said, Brad Holmes has done enough to at least get the benefit of the doubt. And with that, I'm going to just leave it alone and watch him in his draft. I'm going to measure him in his draft. But I'm also going to continue to be honest. If I don't like something, I'm going to say it. If I don't like a pick, I'm going to tell you. That's just what it is. Sometimes we get overconfident when things go right, a couple of times. And as a fan base, it's we trust, but sometimes we start to overtrust when things are obviously right in your face. When you have an opportunity to take your team from good to next level great, you got to take that opportunity. Whether you want to pay your own players that you draft or not, winning at the end of the day, winning the Super Bowl is the only concern. Now, do I think we would have had a better chance to beat a team like Washington if we didn't suffer the amount of attrition that we did last season? Absolutely. Absolutely. But if you got a chance to ask some guys to make sure that type of thing is very, very hard to come by again, you got to do that as well. When you have guys that's available where, you're paying pennies, man, and you can bring back here in Detroit, Darius Smith, I don't care how much the other end of that contract would have been. I don't care. It's not a lot of money. You could have brought him back here. And you still can. There's still a possibility. I know y'all seen the video on social media where Cash Dollar's girlfriend was telling him to come back to the Lions. But he responded and said, you're going to pay the other half of my salary. So basically the Lions are trying to pay him half right now is what pretty much, what we know. But there's a possibility that after June 1st, we see guys like Zadarius return. He hasn't even been talking to any other teams. So makes perfect sense, right? Still wearing Lions gear. You've seen the photo shots on social media. I think that's something that's definitely going to materialize. So we'll see. I don't want to get down on Brad Holmes about that when I'm not sure. So I'm going to just leave that alone. Like I said, he's earned enough respect for me to just leave him alone. Let him do his thing. Sit back and watch. Get your popcorn, just like he said. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. It's been 53 years. I get it. Man. I get it. It's been about a good 30 to 35 years for me. I've been a Lions fan since I was 5 years old. So I get it. I understand, man. But it's still not going to change who Brad Holmes is. And, the Lions have to be smart and they have to go into this draft and not try to be the Quinn Trisha era, which is the smartest guy in the room. Let's just go and fill these positions because, like I said, on the offensive end, what do you really need besides a big body receiver or maybe add a couple of depth guys to your O-line? At this point, we need to stop looking over there unless you're going early to get an offensive lineman. Otherwise, we need to be looking on the defensive side of the ball. So you're going to have to trust your moves that you brung back here. You brung guys like Derek Barnes back. You're going to have to trust these guys. And I'm probably sure Brad Holmes does. He trusts these guys, man. He think he believes he can get the best out of these guys, which he's proven that he can. He believes guys have a lot more to offer, but it's prove it deal years for a lot of these guys, including J-Mo. But some of these guys we brought here were projects from the beginning. And we know that they were projects. Guys like Broderick Martin, you know what I'm saying? So these guys got to step up. we got not only a hole on the opposite side of Aiden Hutchinson, but we also have one where Lynn McNeil was, who's probably not going to be back until maybe after week 5 or something in the league year. So yeah, we got some spots to fill at the end of the day. And I'm probably sure you guys have been listening to people pound that into y'all ear all summer, because I know I damn sure have. I've been listening. So, nothing that we don't already know. Tomorrow is the only unknown. Terry Arnold will be here at the draft to announce the 2nd round pick. But, tomorrow is most likely. So tomorrow's setup, the way that this is going to go, usually I start the draft right at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? For the NFL. I know I got the Pistons going on. I am going to be watching the Pistons as the draft is going on. I'm going to be going 1 to 2, right? Watching the Pistons game, reacting to that live, and also reacting to the NFL. So y'all going to have to work with me tomorrow because that's a lot of work. We're going to have some guys coming in, some special guests coming in and out for both sides, for the Pistons and also for the Lions. I'll try to keep it down to a minimum of 1 or 2 people at a time. Got my guy Cass coming on tomorrow. Most likely, we're going to be talking after the Pistons game with Deuce. Deuce is most likely probably going to come on after the game. We're going to keep that consistent in what we do. So the Lions most likely won't pick until well after that game's over, unless we move up. Unless we move up. So, yeah, y'all going to have to work with me tomorrow, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We have fun every single year. It's going to be fun, man. Hopefully I can get a few guys to pop in. I know people are going to be doing their own things, especially like guys like Dion and, some of the others out there. Just got to keep it consistent. So, yeah. With that said, man, that's pretty much all I got for y'all today. Just getting ready for tomorrow. Get ready for tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. So make sure you're ready. Make sure you're ready. And make sure you follow me on social media. If you're not following me on Twitter and Instagram, you need to go to my Twitter and my Instagram. If you don't have Twitter, I keep telling y'all all the time, I don't care how old you are. If you don't have Twitter, just follow me on there. Go on there, search my name, and just follow me on there. I guarantee you, you'll have a great time following me on there. So, with that said, smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed at this point. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Damn, feels good to say that. Tomorrow is draft day. Knicks in 6. I mean Pistons in 6. I said Knicks in 6. Good Lord, Kiana. Pistons in 6. Y'all know how this goes, man. Shout out to Shannon, man, and we rocking with you. I hope that situation. I can't stand these vultures. Shout out to Shannon Sharp, man. But I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all be safe.
Wow, black-owned shoe store. Culture. My culture, though. Let me see what they talking about in here. What's up, little dog? You good? Y'all got something here for me? I'm talking about exclusive. They got all the dunks? How many dunks they got? Something like these. Y'all got a little vibe in here. They buying shoes, selling shoes. It feels like the culture. They dunking on people. Oh, they doing TikTok. They looking out for the kids. Oh, man, this is great, man. They got all the different races working here. It just really feels like culture. You're looking for a black-owned shoe store to get some real drip at? Come up here to Culture Detroit, man. That's what the streets been missing. Welcome home, fam.